circus artist, who also works in a number of institutions around Melbourne in training, and recently was hardcore on the ground at the Melbourne Circus Festival as a volunteer. So this is a completely different perspective, and she's going to tell us what's happening for independent and small companies, maybe even in 2020. Thanks, Karen.
Hi. Hello. It's nice to see so many people here. Very excited. Right, so when asked to give a talk about Circus in 2020, and it was presented to me that I could basically do this any way I like. So I went on a bit of a story to start with. So if you just allow me to go off on a magical 2020, that's probably not actually in 6 years' time, but you know, the future. Go there first, and then I'll bring it back to where this actually means for independent companies. So, welcome, ladies and gentlemen. I'm glad that you made it here today, and I trust that you all brought your ingenious velocipede with you. For those of you who don't know, that's a human-powered land vehicle with one or more wheels, so I'll leave the choice up to you. The year is 2020. The circus as we know it is dead. Since the energy collapse in 2014, we've all been driven back to the time of human-powered movement. Oil and gas are no longer available for purchase, so we are the force that is left to create our own energy. As those of you within the circus family will know, circuses have always harnessed this power naturally. With the ingenuity of our circus forefathers and mothers, a bit of trial and error and some inspiration, circus has reinvented itself as the only clean form of renewable energy left on the planet. Everything that we create in circus can be fed through a system and turned into energy. We control the power of water purification systems, heating, transportation and cooling. I'm sure that you're familiar with the use of the traditional use of the wheel, and due in part to our diversity in circus, the power that we can generate with the wheel has exponentially increased due to, sorry, I've downloaded these from Google so they won't tell me images. I apologise, I wasn't really that prepared. I'll give it a go. Right. Things such as, is that working? Oh no, how do I turn it on, Annie? I'm really not showing that. I think the camera. I'm being wheeled. Alright, I'll talk, it's fine. So, the idea here is, the wheel of death. But we have the globe of death with the road bikes, a type of wheel. We have the other wheel, I think it's also called wheel of death. You've got the counterweighted wheel, which spins around. Please correct me.
They're all of death.
They're all of death. I also have a really great photo that I found, which is actually the walkabout character. Oh, that's great. That's a German wheel, but they've created a little house inside it, and they've got a soundscape and things like that. This idea that we've always managed to make our home wherever we can find it with circus. I like the idea of having it inside this little German wheel. Can I show that picture? Is it? Oh, you're slouching. You're very fancy. That's okay.
There you go.
There we go. It's all happening. Press next. There we go. Oh, I also wanted to... No, I won't actually. Clearly unprepared. Oh, this is great. This is a bicycle-powered lawnmower. I think that this is the future of circus. This is a potential idea, but they have done a trial of it in Israel, and it is actually a giant hamster wheel, but it does create energy, and this is the thing that we could use with circus. So you run on this thing, and it powers some batteries, and then it runs the lights. We've got the old school globe of death, and here we go. This is the one. The imagery of there. You can travel the world. All right. So the wheel, ladies and gentlemen. Don't need to reintroduce it. Okay. The other important thing that I think that we as circus, being the owners of the power in this future, is our power resource, the laughter bubble, which is based on the theory of geothermal technology, where we use all the energy created from people enjoying our shows, funnel it up into some sort of steam-powered contraption that then allows us to transport ourselves wherever we like in the world. This is going great! But I don't need to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, that the world we live in is in peril. There are those who are greedy enough to think that they can buy the circuses to fulfill their own power requirements. But remember the fight, my good friends, we will not sell our ideas to them. Since the collapse of the internet in 2014, there are no more YouTube videos, so that these profiteers can't just study and copy at home in their bedroom. They instead need to choose, create the power themselves, and are forced into the brutal world of honest sacrifice, blood, sweat and tears. We hold the power, ladies and gentlemen. Don't forget why Circus is so powerful. We have within us our resources: ingenuity, resourcefulness, teamwork, perseverance, impulsivity, chaos, honesty, patience, adaptability, a sense of family, and of course love. And that's what's going to make us be the power in 2020. So the challenge we face today, ladies and gentlemen, is who has the right to this power? Who can say what the power is used for? Can we use the power of Circus to allow other people to generate their own energy requirements? Can this actually be a renewable energy source? Like open source software. Like that. Right, this of course is a dramatic viewpoint of the future of Circus. And while there are elements that I do admire in this ideal, I think as a pragmatic person looking to the future of Circus, I think more about what we can do with our community. So here are some questions that I would like to pose to you for the future of Circus. How can we use spaces uniquely? I think this is going to be really important for the future of Circus. We've always travelled light, caravans, buses, horses, cars, that kind of thing. So let's think about designing shows even more compactly and fit them into smaller, interesting spaces. Recently up at Mullen, as some of you were there as well, you might have come across Simone O'Brien's workshop about shows in small spaces, and there was something about this that I really did enjoy, which is about looking at where we can suit our performance. It doesn't always need to be a giant, tent or a giant festival. Where can we make these performances? Where can we make them more real and one-on-one with people? And if we think about making these shows smaller and more intimate, will we be more willing to take risks on creating companies and making shows? We often talk about independent companies can't make it because they don't have the budget to do the lighting and the this and that and the other. So if we look at how we design our shows differently, does that mean more people are going to be willing to take risks to make more work? And also if you think about where you want to see Circus, if we have a Circus treehouse, obviously we've done things before, on cranes and in bridges and that kind of thing, but maybe, thinking about where the spaces, where do you want to see Circus? The other thing that I think is really important with Circus in the future is, as you were talking about, Peter, I think she's gone now, looking at history as well as the new, this current kind of movement a lot in different performance arts is about using resources that you find around you. So, your parkour and that kind of style thing. That is what Circus used to be about. You use the equipment that you found to build your own, tie wires and contraptions, you juggled what you could find. So I think that perhaps having that adaptability will be useful for the Circus in the future. And the other thing, a provocation, I guess, is I would like to see more artists supporting each other and actually paying to see shows. I know we're all broke all the time, but we're all going to stay being broke if no one pays to go on to their friend's show. So in conclusion, ladies and gentlemen, I do believe that the future of Circus. I do like the idea of the history of travelling circus, and perhaps that is a way that we can progress into the future. But I do like this idea of Circus being a renewable energy source. And when we think about teaching and passing on these skills to people, really think about what else we can teach them aside from the physical skills and the movement ability of your body. Like, what other skills can we teach? Do we teach them about how to persevere, how to continue? Do we teach them about, your rigging and your lighting and all that kind of stuff? If we can make performers that are more multifaceted, we can create more work, which then means more people come to see our shows, which means we can take over. That's the end.
Awesome.
Questions? Awesome. We've got a vision, have we?
Mike's is written the next show.
I'm just interested because you talked about love and Peter didn't mention it. And which is not to say that Peter's not interested in love. I think and then you talked about the disabled body and how we are attuned or hardwired to watch bodies. And somehow that implies that that's about how we learn, how our bodies learn to function or to excel in physical pursuits. But I think that it's not just about the physical pursuits, it's about aspiration, and it's about sympathy, and it's about empathy, and it's about how we understand difference and therefore tolerate and accept and include and bring in and become an inclusive society. So I think that what you're saying is that, Karen, is that, or what you're hinting at in your speech is that if we remember some of the basic tenets of Circus, which is look, open your eyes to understand difference in a deep and sort of visceral way, then we are becoming close to the secret towards a better world.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
Yeah.
Anybody else like to reflect, comment, or question?
Brainstorm the show later.
There is again table talk. There's a table talk about inclusion, access, disability this afternoon. So again, there's ways to follow up on this conversation in small groups and to provide action. Thank you, Karen.